Part 4. Well, the brain witch bitch raised the dose of risperidone from 1 milligram a day to 3. The nurse made me sign a paper. I told him he was a murderer, giving toxic medication to people. Took my fucking pill and left the death station. June 29th, 2022. I began my day being told to take more pills and medicine. We got some new arrivals at the Brain Witchery and have nearly a full unit now. At breakfast, French toast was on the menu, but we had pancakes instead. Close enough, right? I had seconds and thirds before they marched us back to our boring unit. Now, 15 more minutes before outdoor time. I can't wait to get the fuck out of here. June 30th. Here's a definition for you of a word you may not have known. Monography. Monography. It's a noun, and it is the exploitation of money for profit by the executive branch through pentagram flashers whose indecent exposure of their Satan star imposed penalties and fines, making the people poor. Music therapy started 15 minutes late. I'm sure the hospital will charge the patient's insurance companies the full session because she was in a meeting. Today, like children, we have been given markers and pens and dittos to color in while listening to piano music. It's not quite as bad as elevator music, but the ill effect to the stomach is still the same. I pissed in a cup this morning to put my nature Rachel in jail for her false statements she made to the police about my using and my behavior when off or on my meds, which has been ironically consistent for the last 2 years, but the police don't hear that. The neighbors know. Pot stays in your system for at least a month with urine and up to 6 months with a hair follicle. The result will show I am completely clean and I am being harassed by my friends, community, neighbors, Netcare, and the police for being a recovering addict who believes the truth about R&M and V2K, who is repeatedly removed from my home because of what I believe. I am being discharged on the same day as Red, White, and Boom, a celebration of our fake independence full of patriotic programming and propaganda to make us believe we are free. I will need to drive directly back up to Dublin Springs to complete a records request of this visit. By the way, the entire half hour I sat in music therapy There was not a word said by the therapist. I wonder what her salary is for her pseudo-medical position with the concentration camp tamely named the field of psychiatry. At 11 a.m., Judy came to get blood samples to check the toxicity levels of the Depakote I don't even take. I said I need someone to talk to the police about the crimes I've been a victim of, and them not addressing them because they know the suspect and are protecting her. At 11:15 a.m., I asked Dr. Nahar if she had watched the video being harassed with lies that I told her about the first night I was in. She admitted she hadn't, and I first spoke with her Sunday about it. This was just yesterday, 2 days ago now. Today is Thursday. She lied to me and said the internet is restricted at the hospital. How do I know the midget in charge is lying? Because in IOP years ago, the counselor was using YouTube to access videos that we were watching in IOP during therapy. Here's a question, and I'm just going to put it up visually for you. It's a two-parter. I carry a diagnosis of unspecified schizophrenia, and I present proof as to why I behave and believe the way I do, and nobody listens to me. At 12:30 p.m., I left a message on my mom's voicemail that the doctor hasn't watched the video being harassed with lies and made medical decisions without listening to me. I explained how nobody listens to me, and then hung up. I took a shower after my cigarette, outdoors, and asked to wash my shirt to prove I'm fucking competent. I can't stand the setup feel of psychiatry. Everyone I ask for help in here ignores me and refuses to look at my evidence. I was in recreation therapy and filled out the form about music and left to get some lemonade, since we are at the Country Club of Mental Health Facilities in Columbus. When I returned, all the patients were singing the lyrics to some pop song we all know, like zombies being programmed by media. Around 2:30, I was given a second shot of penicillin to take care of the syphilis that I asked Riverside Hospital about in test results when my leg and feet were swollen and that they didn't treat. This was a year and a half ago. It wasn't very long. Psychotherapy started 30 minutes late today, just before I spoke with Olivia, who is the only person at Dublin Springs who watched the video, and I explained that the doctor this morning still hadn't watched it. She said she told the doctor about it. The midget brain witch of the South mandated stomach injection of risperidol instead of taking the pill orally. So according to her 3 milligram dose per day, I was injected with 900 milligrams of a medicine I don't need. All because the police won't hold Patty Ryan accountable. Fuck! Another example of not being heard was when I asked to use the bathroom during dinner, and I said, as an excuse of needing to use the restroom, it must be because of all the lemonade. The nurse's response was, "You should hydrate and drink more water." What the fuck? I also have a prescription now for Depakote, which is another drug I don't need, and actually has, as a side effect, ringing in the ears. That goes so well with playing music. All because of doing a drug of my choice in the privacy of my own home. I wish people listened more to me. And the only way to make that happen is to do something drastic. And I don't want to do that. I'm a pacifist. I believe in non-violent resolution of conflict. There needs to be some dialogue because some things need to get settled. Saving an ego is not worth destroying somebody else's life over. But that's what's going on. Recently, I saw two of one of my neighbors because he could not have been where I saw him, but it could have been the technology too. Hard to tell. My mom dismisses everything I say using Naranon language about me not being able to move on from my past. No, it's because the things going on from the past are still believed today, and that's why there's all this. July 1st. It's 8 a.m. and a half hour before breakfast. My last meal here. Actually, I was wrong. I had lunch there too. The cab was called at 11 a.m. 1 to 2 hours. When 1 o'clock came and went, I was told another hour. It was 2:30, I think, or 3:30 when I got into a vehicle and left the hospital. So I was there for lunch too. So breakfast was not my last meal there. I never thought a hospital could treat a patient so badly, but it has. There's hope, there's help, quote, certainly needs to not be the motto of this hospital. They don't know how to help because they don't listen. It's 10:03, and when I get out today, and whether I get out today is up to my mom. They told me, Dr. Nahar told me that they needed a witness in order to release me today. For what? This is the first time I've ever heard that excuse given. Maybe it's a COVID thing. You never know. It's 10 o'clock. I called 3 times my mom during the process. She said, "We checked all the boxes. You're good to go." I do not appreciate other people directing my life. It started with neighbors wanting to get something to happen. And then it's turned to friends who don't even know the situation and hearing it secondhand that are a continual letdown in my life. And it extends to my own mom, who really believes the doctors and the lying police. So Today is the 2nd of July, and I still struggle to get my freedom back today.